we have been told. I can't say it's an exact truth. I feel it inside of me. It satisfies my hunger and my explanation for why am I here. That we've been here 8.4 million lifetimes. Now you're going, whoa, that is a lot of lifetimes, right? But it actually goes back to when you were even a stone in the ocean's floor, when you were trees, when we were animals in the forest, maybe even farmland animals. So what it shows us is that your soul never dies. It's never born. It always is and always has been forever and ever. It's self-illuminated. Never dies, never born, totally self-illuminated, not lit up by something outside, but the light is on the inside of us forever and ever. And so these souls just travel from body to body, whether it's a stone body, a deer body, a human body. They say we're the last traveler that the soul gets to, which is the human being. What is the difference between we as humans and those as cows or other animals, four-legged creatures? Well, it's pretty simple actually. And it goes to show why humans really have the toughest life almost of any creatures on earth. Because a cow is a cow. A cow doesn't, I don't think, lay around wishing it was a horse or a leopard. It doesn't practice making leopard sounds or horse sounds. And the same with all the animals and all the creatures. They are what they are. And they do, cows do what cows do. Horses do what horses do. Leopards do what leopards do. They don't change their patterning. They stay within their own species. Now you can argue, yes, but what about dogs and horses, or those we've domesticated? We can place a change on them through our influence. But if you take them out into the forest throughout the world, the nature of the animal is as is. When we cross over into the life of a human being, human means light of your mind, you enter the world of choice. You come into the life of duality, of seeing both sides of things, black and white, east and west, sun and moon. You operate out of duality, meaning a tiger doesn't. A tiger lives in their lower centers, which is simple. I'm hungry, I'm in heat, I'm powerful. Those are the three lower generating energies, and those are what they live in. Yes, they have a lot of fear, because that's the way they've stayed alive. They become instinctual. So often when we reincarnate, first we come back in as an instinctual or primal person, whether in a primal situation or in the Western world. That I don't know. But most people on planet Earth, as we speak right now, live out of primal instincts still, just like the tiger. I'm afraid I'm going to fight. Maybe not fight with their fists, but fight with their minds, fight with whatever they do. I'm separate from the rest of God's species. Just like a tiger knows it's separate. And if they come on a pack of wolves, there will be a fight for survival. So many, many humans live in that realm of separation from each other. They haven't advanced in their soul travel to know that there's no separation. They might be light years away from that. I'm a Muslim, you're a Jew. Or, even more than that, there's countries that have little plots, and they'll fight, like in Africa. They'll fight it within the separate countries will fight maybe for food, maybe for territory, but it's a battle of a no oneness. So we've spent many lifetimes, all of us, in those situations. But anything you've ever think you were, if you close your eyes, you've been. If you have an attraction to a certain country, a certain language, certain food, certain color, certain dance, whatever it is, it's because you probably had a pretty delightful time in that lifetime of that certain experience. Other things you don't like, other things you're afraid of, because perhaps you were killed in that lifetime. We've killed and we've been killed. We've been in war and we've not been in war. We've done everything. And now we're being asked as yogis, meaning union with yourself, your breath, and others, to do the best of our ability this lifetime to move from karma to dharma. Karma, we live like a guinea pig, on the wheel, just always in the cage on the wheel, never getting any place but always going. Living in the law of cause and effect is this happened and then this happened and then I'm doing this and this is action, reaction, and that's how you live. Like a roller coaster. She said this. He hurt my feelings. She did this. I'm going to do this. And it can get bigger than our individual, and then it gets to wars. And then it gets to the disaster after the disaster on planet Earth. We, as whatever your country, we deserve this land that they say they claim. This happens, that happens, and pretty soon there's war. Because there's every time we divide. And that's why a lot of times you'll see the sticker, one planet, one world. It's kind of ludicrous to even think we can own property. How can we own trees? But yet we do. Everything, we own this, you own this. These are my children. These are my children. They're not, because that's how we've grown up. And now we're being asked in the Aquarian age through yoga, through meditation, to see in every teacher that you study from, in every book you read, concerning yoga, spirituality, and meditation, we'll talk about oneness, 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 oneness. But until you have the experience of these words, you don't even know. They're just words. But then you have an experience. Does it mean you'll stay forever in that enlightened experience of the experience of oneness? No. You'll probably go back to ordinary mind as we go. But little by little, you'll get more of that oneness. You'll feel more of a oneness. You'll be less afraid. The whole world changes when you have just one little blink of oneness. And then that is what you want. And you cannot be satisfied until you can get that more often, more often, more often. And so you'll pursue what you call your path, because your soul wants the oneness. It's the separation that brings so much pain. It's the enlightenment that brings the oneness. It's so big and it's so vast that we have so many lifetimes working towards that enlightened state. However, the world has never seen itself like it is now. And you must believe that. It's in the worst state. It's been for thousands and thousands of years, but yet it's in the best state. The duality is becoming so apparent now. The drive for happiness on the material plane and the drive for happiness on the spiritual plane. There's never been such a division. Yoga, meditation has never, ever been a part of the world as we see it today. It only left the Himalayas in the 60s, 50 years ago. And look at the revolution now in the whole world. Not just yoga, meditation, Buddhism, a reawakening of Kabbalah, a reawakening of Christianity in its true form, as Jesus taught it, for he was a yogi also. So we're all climbing. And it may seem like a small percentage now, and it is small. Just look at Munich. How many people are actually doing yoga? I know it builds and builds, but it's still a small percentage of the population. But it's going to grow and grow and grow. And pretty soon people are even going to be doing yoga and learning to meditate, and they won't even know why. It's just going to become so trendy. They're going to feel the happiness coming from everyone. Your children, I meet children from all over the world. They're 4 or 5 years old. They're sitting with their mothers, their fathers, meditating. They want to take teachers training when they're 12 years old. These kids are reincarnating back to help this world to awaken. It'll be 5 generations until we really clean up the mess, you might say. Our attitude towards the Mother Earth. Our attitude, that's mine. No, that's mine. I want more. I want more. It's going to dissolve because no one's going to be happy with that. It's going to look so old-fashioned. That's what they used to do. You're going to say, right at the turn of the century or the millennia. God, that was weird, wasn't it? That people would fight at Wall Street, and what was that all about? So you see, it's going to change, not completely in our lifetime, that's for sure. Once we come off the wheel of karma, like the guinea pig, and we get out of the cage and we get free, we go into the world of Dharma. Dharma is very, very nice because you live above the law of cause and effect. Does it mean you live above the law and you'll never get a speeding ticket? No. But chances are you'll be aware of the speed and you'll step out of the karma and you'll go the speed limit so that you don't create the karma. And thereby, more and more every day, you can live in Dharma, which is free of that forever law of cause and effect, of like a ping pong game, like a tennis game where you're always getting hit by the ball. And then what happens is everything settles out in your lives because you're a non-reactionary. And we call that the neutral mind, where you can sit in the middle, see both sides, but not have to go with one side or react or carry on and on and on emotionally. Does it mean that you can't cry ever again or feel from your heart? No. In fact, you'll feel more and more. You'll feel more deeply because you're just pure feeling. You don't want something out of it. You're not angry because of it. You've stepped out of the law of cause and effect, and there's a silence and there's a peace that comes from that. And it's worth the work to arrive to it. And I know many of you have experienced and are living that way more and more and more. The days get more even. Do they get more boring? No, they get more exciting because you have room to see miracles. You have room to see spontaneity. You have room to see people really as they are and not how you thought they were. In fact, the love will grow more and more and more. So as we go through the most unusual class today, I think you'll really enjoy it.